I think we're live. We are back on the Inland Marine Insights podcast. We're here at IMX 2025 in Nashville, Tennessee. I am super excited to have Mr. Austin Benish on the show. Austin, you are with Kahler Automation, correct?
Yes, Kahler Automation.
Automation, yep. Excuse me, yep. Automation. And you are the VP of Sales?
That is correct.
Make sure I have that right. Would you mind just kind of giving us a quick background on Kahler and some of the things you guys are working on over there?
Yeah, so Kahler Automation, we're based in Fairmont, Minnesota. Okay. It's in southwest Minnesota, about an hour and a half east of Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Okay.
We're in the middle of agriculture country there. Our core competency is in agricultural commodity load handling. That's what we do.
Okay.
But we have work in other industries as well, right? So we work in some aggregate, and we're always looking to be able to move these products more efficiently. Our company was founded about 35 years ago.
Awesome.
The founder, Wayne Kahler, is still involved in the operation today, and he's the chairman of our board, and has built a really nice team, a really good team of engineers, of specialists in the commodity space, in the automation space, and software programming. Really from the earlier days of our organization, we were pretty well on-site, on-prem with our automation controls. As we evolve and move forward, we're bringing more and more IT infrastructure into our space. We're integrating with more business solutions in the industry, so we become pretty flexible and pretty agile.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Pretty flexible and pretty agile for our customers.
Man, that's awesome. And we were kind of chatting before the show, kind of one of the things we're really trying to highlight here while we're at IMX is, really the company, the people, the ideas that are really innovating and kind of, pushing the maritime logistics industry forward. I think, automation is obviously a key part of that. Would love to kind of learn a little more, like you guys have a unique perspective, kind of a front row seat to this, obviously. Is there anything specifically in the automation industry that gets you guys excited, that kind of looking into the future specifically for mariners and maritime operators that is just exciting in general?
Yeah, I think so. I think I know there is. And, as I think about, this space that we're in, the automation space, and where the innovation is coming from, whatever commodity it is, so if it's aggregate, if it's fertilizer, if it's petroleum and energy products, so much of that's predicated in logistics, right? So we got to move this stuff. We move it from, whether it's deep sea ports to our inland river terminals, and then out into some more terrestrial-based terminals out and about. However we do that, by truck, by rail, by barge, a combination of all of them. That's a unique ecosystem, and it's a really nice ecosystem to play in. The way that our systems are set up, the way that we design our elements, we try to be very agnostic in our application. So we're able to step into a variety of types of infrastructure and provide automation controls, at the docks, at the piers, at those terminals, to be able to move this product. So, really for us, a new product that we have that's exciting and it's fun, it falls into this space. It's called LoadPass. LoadPass, it is deployed as a trucker, so it's basically from port terminal to truckers.
Okay.
And it's a load staging app that works within our system, and currently it's being used in a number of inland ports around the country to better facilitate the load handling and the staging of those loads as it relates to truck traffic. As far as the maritime industry is concerned, we want to create as much space as efficiently as we can. It's fertilizer barns, it's aggregate ships, it's all the stuff on port, both liquid and dry. And so, it's a neat space to integrate in. It's a neat space to innovate in. The integrations are coming fast. I think that's the other thing, that really excites us is we don't know where this innovation space is moving in terms of the speed at which it's headed. We've got a pretty good idea where it's going to go. But those adoption rates are really the thing that we're watching. We found with LoadPass initially, because it's a smartphone application that works with truck drivers. The question was, will truck drivers adopt this, right? And so we have two ways to utilize the system. One is an on-site kiosk, which is not as fast, but it works just the same, or the quick lane, if you want to call it that, which is the phone app. We found that after about 3 trips to the same facility that's utilizing it, those drivers are fully on board, fully adopting. What it's saving those facilities up to about 8 minutes per load in the load-out process. The drivers, the brokerages, the folks that are running those tractors up and down the road, they're very interested in the fuel savings, the time savings, and everything else.
Sure.
The guys who are operating those barge setups and those terminal facilities, they really like it because it's moving product out with a lot less hassle.
Yeah. 8 minutes is probably extremely valuable at scale in those operations.
It is, and the time savings really come from it's limiting the interaction that those drivers have with the on-site facility and on-site staff. So if everything is prepped and ready to go, they can scan in and just roll through.
Yeah.
That means we don't have to interact with scale personnel. We don't have to ask where things are at. Instructions are on the screen for them. There's no questions about whether or not the right load showed up or the right contract is in place, or can I even pull off of this kind. That's all taken care of ahead of time. It also keeps drivers in their trucks. So from a safety perspective,
sure,
we don't have people walking around these facilities. It works the same in ag retail and some of the the inland terminals. We facilitate the same system there. But there's maybe a heightened sense of security, a heightened sense of
makes sense.
Just safety at some of these port facilities.
No, man, it makes perfect sense. Anything you can do to streamline and kind of compress the amount of touch points, whether it's something as simple as someone getting out of a vehicle. I mean, that scale, that adds up, right?
It is. And so, so beyond LoadPass, when we look at our system at large, that's one piece of our technology ecosystem that we offer. We automate everything on the liquid and the dry side of things, from when it comes off the barge, as soon as it hits a conveyor or a hopper, everything through the entire facility. We tie into a variety of different systems to make that easy for the operators and the managers of these facilities.
Man, that's awesome. Love it. The, Austin, one other question I was going to ask is, obviously the adoption of this type of technology probably just presents itself in different ways. What kind of role, as far as just like existing or availability of infrastructure, have you seen? Like what type of role does that play with the ability just for an organization to adopt these types of tools?
Yeah, so it's one part of it, it's infrastructure gain, which is great. And I think everyone's kind of, every facility is sort of on their own journey, right? So we have everything from pretty limited IT infrastructure, pretty dated systems out there, and they're fine. They may function just fine today, but all the way up to some state-of-the-art. We just automated a few of these down in the Gulf and up and down the Mississippi actually this past year. Fantastic facilities. I mean, the amount of automation, the amount of just infrastructure advancement in those facilities is incredible.
Yeah.
And everything in between. Really, I would say that when you step into the automation space, the biggest question to ask is what do you want to use it for? Right? That's the question that the client or the customer or whomever needs to ask is, what do I want to gain by this? Some folks will say, I want to offset labor. Some folks may say they just want a more efficient system across the board and eliminate some back office work. Other clients of ours, they say, I just want things to move faster, right? Most of them would say, I need more throughput. Can you help me out?
Yeah.
We can offer a combination of all of those things, but I think then it becomes a question of what is the supporting infrastructure look like? Do you have the correct IT? Do you have the correct electrical? Are you looking at moving this many tons versus that many tons? And how does that all come together?
Yeah.
That typically, though, it's not a challenge. That is something that we tend to advise on more and more frequently these days. So, folks will. I just was on a call earlier this morning, actually, and that was the question. It was, hey, I don't really know how to get started doing this stuff. You have folks that can help me out. I want to automate my space.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to get started. Do you have people that can help me with this? Absolutely.
I bet.
We work with industry partners across the country, across North America. And we're very well positioned to be able to make recommendations or to just kind of help folks out with, where do you get started? How do you begin? And how do you draw up plans? One of the things that we talk a lot about is automation first. So when you look at, you're in a terminal facility or a port facility, there's a lot of money that goes into infrastructure, physical infrastructure, IT infrastructure, and everything in between. When you start looking at ROI and you start looking at payback, really that automation investment, that IT investment, probably is going to be the thing that probably pays off the fastest because it's a lot less expensive than buying a lot of concrete.
Yeah.
Right. Or the labor around building a physical facility. Well, if it's going to pay off the fastest and there's a higher ROI on it, and there are all sorts of positive downstream effects through the system, why not start there?
Yeah.
And develop a digital plan, develop an automation strategy, and then create and develop those infrastructure improvements at the facility sort of around that plan and that idea to make sure that you're sort of future-proofed in that regard.
Man, I love it. I think we could probably talk another 30 minutes if we have the time. It's definitely an exciting conversation. You guys are obviously a key piece of kind of the innovation, movement and initiative moving forward. That's really definitely going to affect the maritime space. So excited to have you in the conversation. Before we round out, I'd love to ask for our folks, our listeners, listening to this conversation, and our folks here at IMX, what is the best way to connect with you or either Kahler to learn more about the solutions you guys provide?
Yeah, I mean, you can go right to our website. It's KahlerAutomation.com, KahlerAutomation. Did I get all those right in my head?
Sounds right.
I think so, but
that sounds right.
KahlerAutomation.com. Or you can reach out to me directly. My email is abenes@KahlerAutomation.com.
Good deal, man. We'll be sure to kind of add, those comments in the show notes and the description. No, this was great, man. Thank you for coming on the show.
My pleasure. This is always fun stuff to do. I always enjoy this.
I hope you have a great rest of your IMX experience here. If you're around, I don't know if you guys have a booth, or if you guys are just around.
We don't. This is our first time at IMX, and I really enjoy it. We're just walking the show. We're here as attendees, but I'd say already this morning we've made some great contacts.
Awesome.
We kind of expand our network. It's always good to make new friends.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. Austin, I hope you have a great rest of your IMX experience, and can't wait to share this with our listeners.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Yep.